So, you know, like, if there was any gun that I was most worried about going into Beyond Light, it was Dire Promise. Dire was my go-to for any serious PvP activity, and was a big part of my confidence gain switching from controller to mouse and keyboard. Going from a 150 to a 140 would not only drop its time to kill, but it would also likely lower the other base stats and stability and handling that I was used to. And for those of you who've used an old fashioned, you kind of had an initial idea of how the gun would feel once it switched. Now with Beyond Light, we've had a number of sandbox changes, and for the most part, exotic hand cannons have seen the most increased use. Ace of Spades, Thorn, even Sturm have all seen increased use in Crucible. But Dire is the last legendary remaining that still seems to punch above its weight, and at the top end of comp, you'll see this weapon a ton, and I don't imagine that'll be any different for Trials once it finally relaunches. And Dire Promise in its 150 form had some great base stats, and a nice narrow sight. And in its 140 form, it's mostly stayed the same. It has lowered its base values in handling and stability, and here is the official stats courtesy of Light GG. Pretty respectable and all, and the perks I can roll with it are also very solid for PvP. I got super lucky here with my Dire Promise, which I think is a god roll with high cal, snapshot, and rangefinder. It was just a random world drop, and all I can say for those looking to get it, keep playing, one will drop eventually. I have seen a ton drop with opening shot rangefinder, which is also a god roll, so keep an eye out. So for the purposes of this video, here's a comparison of Dire Promise next to Old Fashioned, a similar looking and archetype hand cannon. Dire has more bullets in the magazine, slightly better range and reload, significantly better handling, but most important, it destroys Old Fashioned with this hidden perk, Aim Assist. Dire maintained its extremely forgiving aim assist value of 87, while Old Fashioned sits at 65. Now, sure, the simple answer can just be land your shots, but in a gunfight, that extra 20 aim assist often is the difference in landing a crit shot and not, and winning the engagement. It's pretty hard for me to overstate the importance of that single stat alone, and it's the biggest reason why this hand cannon is still so easy to use and choose over Old Fashioned or even Ace of Spades. Old Fashioned does have better stability and recoil, and the general impression I have is it's better suited for you if you're on a controller or if you're not great with your hand cannon shot yet. But otherwise, there's really no reason why you should pick Old Fashioned over Dire unless you really want to run kill clip. There's something else I wanted to talk about here, and that's range. For those of you who watched my hand cannon range video, my Dire Promise with rangefinder has a damage fall off point of 33 meters, the same as Ace of Spades. But here once again, we come back to Dire besting Ace's aim assist value of 70, so even though Ace has Memento Mori and is a great hand cannon, Dire just in its base stat form is the better hand cannon in my opinion. Now, if you like very consistent recoil, love how Ace looks, etc., I get it. It's a great gun and I have a blast using it, especially if you don't have a god roll Dire Promise. Now, where Ace and the exotics dominate Dire is in PvE. I actually was using Dire Promise in the Deepstone Crypt raid opening day, and it did fine, but without any major modifier damage perk, it's just not as helpful in that game mode. You almost need backup mag in PvE to sustain any primary shot damage. But back to PvP, what I love most about this gun is that you can either pair a shotgun or a sniper anytime, and it doesn't impact things too much. In the gameplay here, I just trolled a game of Rumble with my Dire and Fellwinters, and I find for most medium to short range maps, this is the loadout for me. Dire continues to be the most consistent weapon in my arsenal, and allows me to not worry so much about my hand cannon shot randomly missing, and in the end, confidence wins you games. I think I want to make sure that we have an asterisk here though, and that I really think you need rangefinder on your Dire for it to achieve the S tier rank. It just allows you to go against pulse rifles and auto rifles for greater effect. The biggest upside to hand cannons is the damage output one can do at one shot, and then quickly get behind cover versus an auto rifle, for example. This season, there's no obvious meta or weapon that dominates, but this hand cannon is still in the S tier, and I recommend you swap back and forth with this and Ace just to see for yourselves. It continues to be the most forgiving hand cannon and will always be in my character for any PvP activity. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, please hit that like and subscribe button. We do lots of short Destiny 2 videos, and we got a ton of content coming up for Beyond Light. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.